welcome to Miranda Made. In today's video, we are making one of those patterns I showed you last time as promised. We're going to be making Quick Sew pattern 143, which is a men's raglan sleeved t-shirt pattern. This is my first knit pattern. I'm really excited to try out a knit, and I'm going to show you how it's going. As you can see back here, well, you can't see very well, but this is actually the shirt that I'm working on right now that I've already started, and I'm gonna fill you in on all of the steps that I've been doing throughout the process. So let's go ahead and jump into that video. Thanks so much, let's go. All right, here is Quick Sew pattern 143 for men, according to the pattern that I received. Here's the size chart. I'm making extra large. These are the pieces that it came with. Unfortunately, there was no instructions in the pattern I purchased from Etsy. Oh no! So I kind of have to make up the process as I go. First thing, of course, I have to cut out the pieces. So having done that, now I just need to press them flat. Shouldn't take too long because this is a quick sew. Yay! This is a very nice pattern. I think the markings are easy to see. They've really survived long term. There was no date printed on this pattern, but I would guess it's something like 80s, maybe early 80s, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The markings though are very nice, easy to read, and easy to figure out. Okay, let's move on to pinning all the pieces onto the fabric. This fabric I purchased at the thrift store for I think $2 or $3 if I remember correctly. So woohoo! All in all, this is maybe a $7 shirt, something like that. And I'm pinning on the sleeves first. There's a front part of the shirt where the front part of the sleeve goes, and I'm just going to stitch those together. Easily done. Again, I have no instructions, so I'm not 100% sure that this is the best way, but it worked for me. Alright, now that the sleeves are done, I'm going to pin front to back of this shirt with the sleeves going all the way up under the armpit and down the side. Easy peasy. Alright, got it over to my machine. As you can see, there's some fuzzy stuff around my machine. I totally need to stop and clean the machine before my next project. Alright, so I did cut out the pieces that go around the arms and the neck in the same fabric, and then I thought, let's change it up. So I found some white fabric. I forgot the name of it, but I will definitely put the official name of this type of fabric that I'm using on the screen so you can see it, because the moment the name slipped my mind, and it was my first time using it. You can't really tell, unfortunately, from this video, but it's that typical lined fabric that's very stretchy that you see around armholes of sweatshirts and things like that. So it goes with this type of material. Again, I'll put the name on the screen here for you. I'm an amateur, so feel free to correct anything that's not perfect here. But yeah, I got this fabric for about $5, and I thought it turned out nicely. So I went ahead and recut out the arm binding, essentially, and the neck binding. Also, the neck band, you're supposed to measure according to the wearer's neck size. So I checked it on my husband before I cut it out, and he doesn't like it super tight. So you can adjust accordingly. He ended up using the largest size just because, yeah, he doesn't want it super tight. But there is some flexibility to accommodate the neck size of whoever you're sewing for. And this fabric is also stretchy. It's a knit, just like the shirt material. So keep that in mind. If you stretch it when you sew it, it'll gather more in place. Yay, finally to the cutting out. You know, it takes time to pin everything just right. After getting these cut out, then I have to go through and press everything and folding the edges over, pressing them in place, which wasn't easy. This fabric's kind of thick, but I also wanted to be careful not to have the iron too hot. Probably I could have had it hotter than I did, so I used some water to assist with that. Knits are just totally different than working with linen or cotton, right? That the stiffness isn't there, so it's just a different process. I had to change my needle. Of course, I didn't show that on camera, but I changed the needle to work with knits. But all in all, it's not that much more difficult than working with regular woven fabrics. So after pressing all the sides around, just like you would a waistband, so that there's no raw edges, you're gonna fold it in half to complete, and then you'll be ready to pin it around the neck hole. And you can see the mess in the background. My sewing room was pretty messy this day. Unfortunately, I need more storage area. And my stacks of books, oh dear. So then I went and just pinned it around the neck hole to really see how it's going to fit, where I might need to stretch the fabric a little bit to give it more of that tight feel. And this took quite a bit of time because, you know, pinning, you have to do it before you sew in order for things to turn out well, usually. But I did end up not using the pins as much and more kind of going with the fill of it, which was quite different than what I would do with a woven fabric, because you don't want to stretch a lot in one place, but some stretch is required. So it's very different working with knits. And now I'm going to move on to the sleeves now that the neck is done, and do pretty much the same thing, but I ended up deciding not to pin because you kind of have to stretch anyway here and there to make it gather and kind of fit. So yeah, I found it actually easier not to pin and kind of feel your way as you put it on, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe you have better tips that you can leave in the comments about working with knits. This is my very first knit project, which for the longest time I was petrified to even try. So I'm pretty proud of how this turned out, although of course it's not perfect, but it's my first time. So having finished the sleeves, the only thing left to do is to finish the bottom of the shirt. And so I've got to pin that. Now the hem looks a little bit wonky now that I see it from here, but it did look good after I was finished. And as you can see, I probably should have finished the inside of those seams, which obviously I forgot to do. But I can definitely go back and work on that too. I really want a serger. I think a serger would be my game changer. All right, and let me show you what it looks like here hanging on the hanger.
Alright, now that you have seen the final product, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate all of it, and I read every comment. If you have any suggestions for me, feel free to write those as well. Until the next video, take care and see you next time.